Well, the two that sprang to mind immediately were the weather and the geography, and they both were worked together because it really made life quite difficult at times, especially in the early days, because we used to get cancelled ferries, so there were no stocks in the shops. Electricity failures, so everything would go down. So we had a generator at the health centre. So those two things really had a huge effect on every aspect of life. And so there were a fair number of mental health problems due to these various things, people feeling cut off. I'd like to say now that a lot of the people that I worked with were incomers, in that they weren't the people who were used to Shetland. So that's why some of these things were exaggerated, because they were just had been uprooted and put in this pretty remote spot. The cost of living was more expensive, especially petrol. So that could cause a problem with families. And you could feel very isolated up there, the workers and the families themselves, the people themselves. And from a personal point of view, the lack of anonymity when you are actually working and living in the same district, that could be a bit of a problem. People would pin you up against the baked beans in the shop, and say, I haven't heard about the so-and-so, because that could be a problem. And you had overlapping roles as well, so that could be a bit difficult with confidentiality, because I was a mum as well as a health professional. People would, expect you to be able to tell them, or want you to tell them certain things which you obviously couldn't do. And then pre-IT, before we had computers and things, the communication within the islands and with the islands was a bit of a problem.